Yo, what's up, guys? We're here with Q&A number 2. Yes, it's been a while since my last Q&A, but we're here and that's all that matters. And why are we celebrating another Q&A? Well, I just hit 200 subscribers in about a month or so ago, and now I'm almost at 250 and I don't know what to say. You guys are awesome. You guys just are raw in my opinion. I can't say how thankful I am for that. It just means a lot that you guys really like my work, and I'll continue making the work as long as I can. So to reward you guys, we're doing a Q&A. Thank you for all the questions, and if you have any questions, I'll answer them in my third Q&A, which should come out in the next few months or so. It depends on how busy I get in the next few months, but there will be a third Q&A if you guys have the questions for them. So, let's get started. First question's asked by Sebastian Mateer. What's your favorite color? I have to go with gray because it's a good color on cars and clothing. It's just like a universal color that goes well with a lot of stuff. What's your favorite number? My favorite number is 18 because it represents the big life changer in your life. Because I turned 18 last August. I became an adult and I get to see what the real world's like, and it's a stepping stone in your life. It's a big, I guess, your milestone because you now become an adult. You're not as reliant on your parents, so that's what I would say. Who are your top five World Grand Prix chiefs? Now going from fifth to first, I would go Bruce Boxman, Brian Gierlewski, Mark Matsu, Petro Carolina, and Autobahn. Autobahn is my favorite because I really love Audi cars. They're just phenomenal vehicles in my opinion. What's your favorite Piston Cup team? I really like Apple because it represents a big part of my life as well. Because I use a lot of Apple technology for my videos, and I really like how Apple, the owner of Apple's, well, ex-owner of Apple, Steve Jobs, helped find Pixar. So I really like that connection between the two. So as tribute to being a Pixar fan, I use Apple, so that would be my choice. What's your favorite and least favorite McQueen? My favorite McQueen would be the Dragon Lightning McQueen because I love the spoiler and the Dragon Lightning symbol on his hood. Least favorite, the regular version. Pretty easy to find in stores. Favorite and least favorite Mater. My favorite Mater is Dracula Mater because its paint scheme is really different from the other Maters because there's no rust on him at all. So it's just phenomenal. I love the cape and the red white wall tires. So those are pretty cool. My least favorite Mater. My least favorite Mater would probably have to be Duct Tape Mater because why would you make it a super chase? Come on, Mattel. Ugh. My least favorite and favorite Ramon. My favorite Ramon is Ramona's Han Solo because I really like how he has a gun. And plus, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, if you don't know. I love Star Wars. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Least favorite Ramon? Probably the yellow one because I'm not a big yellow fan when it comes on vehicles. So that would be my pick. And what is your favorite and least favorite townie? My favorite townie is probably Fillmore because I can really talk like him. How's the Q&A going, man? See, I can talk like him. And my least favorite townie, sorry, Red, but I don't really like Red too much. Sorry, Red, if you're watching it. But you don't talk much. We don't know as much about you and your personality because you don't really speak much. So, sorry, Red, again, but let's move on to the next questions. These next ones are by Dynaco Blue 43. What is the rarest Pixar Cars diecast you own? The rarest one I own would probably have to be the Convoy Brothers and Albert Hincke because only 1,000 sets of each were sold and they're very desirable. And luckily, I have them, and I always wanted to get them. And I know if you want them and you're watching this, you will get them if you put your heart to it. What is your favorite character in Cars 3? I love Jackson Storm. I love the next generation look to the Piston Cup racers. Cannot wait to see him on the big screen in June. It's going to be fantastic. And last question. What other films are you seeing in 2017 besides Cars 3? Well, if you know, I did say I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I'll be seeing Star Wars Episode 8 in December 2017. So That's one I'll be seeing for sure. And other ones I don't really know for sure yet. Whatever I probably see on commercials, I'll probably see it then. But as of now, that's the one main movie I've got planned. Cannot wait. Cannot wait for it. It should be exciting. Next question's asked by RC Cars 5. What are your thoughts on McQueen's age? I'm not surprised that he's getting pretty old because a lot of NASCAR drivers are not like in their 20s. Some of them are in their 30s and even 40s. So answering the next question, was Brian Fee being literal and McQueen being 40? I would say he was being pretty literal because there are a lot of NASCAR drivers who are older than 40 or just like in their 30s and 40s. So they're up there in age. They're not like 20 to 25. So you see a large age diversity in like car racing. So I would say McQueen is probably around 40. Do you have any long-term plans for the future of your channel? My plans are to keep making videos, try to help out and try to improve my views by trying to make as good quality videos as I can. I want to try and get to around 500 by maybe in 2 years or so. I know Cars 3 will be a good good way to start because there's gonna be a lot of inflow of Cars 3 fans. But yeah, just to keep going and trying my best, and hopefully school doesn't get in the way or work. Just gotta keep doing my best. And the last question, how do I think Cars 3 will end? McQueen will win the Florida 500. McQueen may decide, I think McQueen will decide to retire. He'll think he's now finished because he beat Jackson Storm. He taught Jackson Storm the lesson. And he'll probably slow down with Sally and maybe start a family or get married. He could even be married by now, but we don't know for sure. So, in conclusion, I feel like McQueen will move on to more like a quiet life and let Cruz Ramirez be kind of like taking his sort of place or so. And so yeah, Cruz Ramirez will probably take his place, and McQueen will most likely retire. Or another theory I do have is maybe he'll invest in owning a sponsorship, like maybe he'll help Dusty Rustys. He'll take over the business, but I certainly hope not, if you know what I mean. And yeah, McQueen might look in like maybe owning a sponsor. I mean, maybe not racing for the sponsor, but what I do know that McQueen will probably win the Florida 500, and Jackson Storm will have his lesson taught. Very good question, by the way. Now let's move on to our final questions. If Mattel made 5 more Piston Cup haulers, who would you ask for? I would ask her for one for Gasprin, Full Wheel Drive, Taco Mint, Apple, and last but not least, I would ask for one for Little Torque Pistons. Theirs are some pretty nice sponsors in my opinion. I wouldn't mind seeing a hauler of those ones. And the last question, if Mattel made 5 more plain pit road packs, who would you ask for? I would choose Sunwing, Gunnar Viking, Koila Ivanov, Miguel, and Little Keen. And actually, a Sunwing and Gunnar Viking pity were previewed on Take 5 Day about 3 years ago, but were never released. So I don't think they'll ever get released because if you ask me, the Planes line is dead now, especially with all the Cars 3 hype. It's like Planes never happened. It's kind of like it was a person standing out in the ocean, then Cars 3 was a wave that crashed over it and like just kind of like forgot it, and now Planes is now forgotten. But it doesn't matter because I didn't really care for Planes as much as I do Cars, and I know a lot of you feel that way too. So once again, that concludes our Q&A number 2, and thank you for all the questions. It wouldn't have been possible without you, and thank you for 200 subscribers as well too. You guys keep encouraging me to move on. It means a lot. It's been such a great journey, and I hope to do another Q&A in the future. Don't know when though. I just have to coordinate with all my other responsibilities. But I hope you enjoyed this Q&A, and as always, we will see you next time. Sign off.